We stand at a crossroads in the global economy. Traditional models of capitalism, focused on maximizing shareholder value, are under scrutiny. Stakeholder capitalism emphasizes considering the interests of all stakeholders, not just shareholders. This shift represents a fundamental rethinking of the purpose of business and society. Consumers, investors, and employees now demand businesses act ethically and responsibly. By embracing this perspective, businesses can create long-term value and contribute to a more just and sustainable world. The need for stakeholder capitalism is more pressing than ever. Our world faces challenges like climate change, social inequality, and political polarization. Traditional shareholder capitalism, with its focus on short-term profits, has proven inadequate. Stakeholder capitalism offers a path forward by recognizing the interconnectedness of business and society. It calls for a holistic view of success, considering the well-being of all stakeholders. People demand greater transparency, fairness, and responsibility from companies. Stakeholder capitalism contrasts with shareholder capitalism, which prioritizes financial returns. It recognizes that businesses operate within a complex ecosystem of relationships. Success depends on the well-being of all stakeholders, including employees, customers, and the environment. Businesses have a responsibility to create value for all stakeholders, not just shareholders. This shift requires businesses to adopt a broader definition of success, encompassing social and environmental performance. Long-term profitability is best achieved by creating value for all stakeholders. At the heart of stakeholder capitalism lie key principles guiding businesses toward a responsible approach. Long-term value creation emphasizes creating long-term value for all stakeholders. Shared value businesses can create economic value while addressing societal needs. Stakeholder engagement involves open communication and incorporating feedback. Purpose-driven business encourages a clear purpose beyond profit maximization. Transparency and accountability, essential for building trust with stakeholders. Promotes open communication about performance, including social and environmental impact. Encourages businesses to be accountable for their actions and measure progress. The concept of stakeholder capitalism is not new. It has been a part of economic discussions for decades, if not centuries. The idea is rooted in the belief that businesses should not only focus on maximizing shareholder value, but also consider the broader impact they have on all stakeholders, including employees, customers, suppliers, communities, and the environment. This approach contrasts sharply with the traditional model of shareholder capitalism, which prioritizes the interests of shareholders above all else. Its roots trace back to earlier forms of capitalism with a stronger sense of social responsibility. In the early 20th century, business leaders like Henry Ford and Andrew Carnegie recognized the importance of balancing profit with social good. Ford famously increased wages for his workers, believing that a well-paid workforce would be more productive and loyal. Carnegie, on the other hand, became a major philanthropist, donating much of his wealth to educational and cultural institutions. These early examples set the stage for the modern stakeholder capitalism movement. The term gained prominence in response to the dominance of shareholder capitalism. In the latter half of the 20th century, the focus on shareholder value became the prevailing business philosophy. This shift was driven by economists like Milton Friedman, who argued that the sole responsibility of a business is to generate profit for its shareholders. However, this narrow focus often led to negative consequences, such as environmental degradation, income inequality, and corporate scandals. Edward Freeman, in his 1984 book, argued businesses should consider all stakeholders. Freeman's work laid the intellectual foundation for stakeholder capitalism, emphasizing that businesses have a responsibility to all parties affected by their actions. He argued that by considering the needs and interests of all stakeholders, businesses could create more sustainable and ethical practices. This idea resonated with many business leaders and academics, sparking a growing interest in stakeholder theory. The movement gained momentum in the 1990s and 2000s, driven by corporate scandals and awareness of social issues. High-profile scandals like Enron and WorldCom exposed the dangers of prioritizing short-term profits over long-term sustainability. At the same time, growing awareness of social and environmental issues such as climate change and labor rights led to increased pressure on businesses to adopt more responsible practices. This period saw the rise of corporate social responsibility, CSR initiatives, as companies began to recognize the importance of addressing the needs of all stakeholders. Recent years have seen significant traction due to climate change and income inequality. The growing urgency of these issues has led to a renewed focus on stakeholder capitalism. Businesses are increasingly recognizing that their long-term success depends on their ability to address social and environmental challenges. This shift is reflected in the rise of sustainable business practices, such as reducing carbon emissions, promoting diversity and inclusion, and supporting local communities. Companies are also adopting new metrics to measure their impact on stakeholders, moving beyond traditional financial indicators to include social and environmental performance. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the interconnectedness of business and society. The global crisis underscored the importance of resilience and adaptability as businesses faced unprecedented challenges. Many companies stepped up to support their employees, customers, and communities, demonstrating the value of a stakeholder-oriented approach. The pandemic also accelerated trends such as remote work and digital transformation, further emphasizing the need for businesses to consider the broader impact of their actions. As we move forward, the principles of stakeholder capitalism will continue to shape the future of business, driving more inclusive and sustainable growth for all. The benefits of stakeholder capitalism extend beyond profits to positive social and environmental outcomes. By prioritizing all stakeholders, businesses can create a more just and sustainable world. It drives innovation and long-term value creation by considering diverse perspectives. This leads to new products, services, and business models benefiting both company and society. Stakeholder capitalism fosters stronger relationships with employees, customers, and communities. It enhances a company's reputation and social license to operate. Companies prioritizing stakeholder interests attract customers, investors, and top talent. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-blowing discoveries and thrilling adventures into the past.